What if the most iconic suicide in history never happened? What if Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, a woman who seduced empires and outsmarted Rome's greatest generals, did not meet her end by the venomous kiss of an asp? For centuries, her death has been shrouded in poetry and propaganda, a tragic finale penned by her enemies. But tonight, we unravel the silk of lies strangling her legacy. This is not a story of a broken queen. This is a tale of murder, manipulation, and a cover-up that rewrote history itself. The flawed suicide narrative. Let's begin with the legend we've all been sold: Cleopatra, clad in gold, clasping a serpent to her chest in a mausoleum thick with incense and despair. A noble suicide to avoid humiliation by Rome. But here's the problem: there were no witnesses. The only accounts come from Roman historians like Plutarch, writing a century after her death. And who funded their quills? Octavian, the man who became Emperor Augustus, Cleopatra's mortal foe. Consider this: Octavian needed Cleopatra dead, but suicide absolved him of blame. A queen's self-inflicted death painted her as volatile, unfit to rule, while he emerged as the civilized savior. Yet, even the ancient writers contradict themselves. Plutarch claims she died by asp, but later admits no snake was found in her chamber. Strabo, a historian alive during her reign, hints at a potion. And Suetonius, chronicling Octavian's life, whispers of a dagger. Why the inconsistencies? Because the truth was inconvenient. The assassination theory, motive and means. Let's dissect Octavian's motives. Cleopatra wasn't just a defeated queen, she was a threat. She'd borne Julius Caesar's son, Caesarion, a living challenge to Rome's power. Her alliance with Mark Antony had nearly toppled the Republic. Alive, she could rally resistance. Dead, she became a cautionary tale. But Octavian couldn't execute her publicly. She was no soldier, she was a sovereign. So, history tells us she chose death. But what if that choice was staged? Enter the chilling logistics of her final hours. After Antony's suicide, Cleopatra was imprisoned in her own mausoleum, guarded by Octavian's men. How does a captive queen procure an Egyptian cobra, a snake symbolizing divine royalty, in Roman-occupied Alexandria? Cobras aren't kept in baskets like apples, their handlers were priests. Yet no records mention a snake charmer entering her cell. Even stranger, Cleopatra's two handmaidens, Charmion and Eerie, allegedly died with her. 3 women, 1 snake. Egyptian cobras kill in hours, not seconds. Victims suffer paralysis, convulsions, hardly the serene death Roman poets describe. Now, the twist: ancient Rome had a protocol for discreet eliminations. A venomous ring, laced with hemlock or opium, tools of the elite for political suicides. Cleopatra, a polymath versed in poisons, would have known these substances. Hemlock induces a painless, slow fade, matching the peaceful death witnesses later described. But why stage a snakebite? Because the asp was sacred to Isis, Cleopatra's divine patron. A serpent strike transformed her death into a myth, a godly ascension. Octavian couldn't let her be martyred. So, he sanitized her end, erasing the ritual, reducing her to a lovesick woman clutching a snake. The vanished corpse and the silent tomb. Here's where the mystery curdles into horror. After her death, Cleopatra's body vanished. Octavian claimed he buried her beside Antony, but no tomb has ever been found. Ancient sources vaguely reference a monument near Alexandria, now lost to the sea. Why the haste? A public funeral would have risked riots, a hidden grave prevented pilgrimage. But there's a darker possibility: Octavian disposed of her remains to destroy evidence. In 2009, archaeologist Zahi Hawass unearthed a skull fragment in a temple near Alexandria, a woman's, with signs of blunt force trauma. Could this be Cleopatra? We may never know. But consider this: Roman assassins preferred accidents. A fall downstairs. A sudden illness. A staged suicide. If Octavian ordered her killed, her corpse would have been a liability. Burn it. Dump it. Erase it. Propaganda, the war on memory. Octavian's greatest weapon wasn't the sword, it was the scroll. He branded Cleopatra, whore queen, a sorceress who enslaved Antony with lust. But here's what they erase: she spoke 9 languages, authored medical texts, and ruled Egypt during its last golden age. Her seduction of Antony, a strategic alliance to protect Egypt from Rome's hunger. Yet after her death, Octavian paraded her statue through Rome with a live asp clamped to its wrist, a grotesque puppet show to cement his propaganda. And what of her children? Caesarion, her heir, was hunted and executed. Her twins by Antony, Alexander Aelios and Cleopatra Selene, were paraded as war trophies. Selene was later married off to a North African king, her lineage diluted. Octavian didn't just kill a queen, he scorched her bloodline from history. The battle for truth. Cleopatra's death was not an end. It was a theft. A robbery of her voice, her legacy, her humanity. For 2,000 years, we've swallowed the lie of the suicidal seductress because history is written by the victors. But the cracks in Octavian's story are showing. So, let's ask again, what killed Cleopatra? Was it the cold pragmatism of an emperor? A staged suicide to mask a murder? Or something darker, lost to the sands of time? Her body is gone, her tomb a ghost, but her story refuses to die. Because true legends don't fade, they fester. They wait. Tonight, you become part of her rebellion. Question the myths. Doubt the scrolls. And remember, history is not a fact, it's a battlefield. Cleopatra's war isn't over. It's just begun. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time.